Best NFL Player from Each Jersey Number Part 1.
Throughout the long and illustrious history of the NFL, some of the greatest athletes to ever walk the earth have spent time in the league. Today, we will cover some of those legends and break down the best player to wear each jersey number in NFL history. Representing number 0 is one of the best centers of all time. 1. Number 0, Jim Otto. There was not a lot of competition for Jim Otto for the title of best player to ever don the number 0. However, this does not take anything away from the incredible career that he put together. He joined the league in the 1960 AFL draft and spent the entirety of his 15-year NFL career. In that time, he was named to the Pro Bowl 12 times, the All-Pro Team 10 times, won one AFL championship title, and was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1980. Interestingly, he did not begin his career wearing the number 0, and in his rookie season would don the number 50. Otto was as reliable as they come and did not miss a single game throughout the entirety of his career. This is something that is almost impossible to replicate today, and pairing this with his Hall of Fame caliber resume, Otto is more than qualified to represent the number 0. Up next, representing number 1 is a quarterback who completely revolutionized the position. 2. Number 1, Warren Moon. Warren Moon was one of the contributing factors in the revolutionization of the quarterback position. If he had not had an impact on the league, there is a chance that teams would still primarily be looking for pocket passers. Moon joined the league as an undrafted free agent. In his 17 years in the NFL, he spent time playing for the Houston Oilers, Minnesota Vikings, Seattle Seahawks, and Kansas City Chiefs. Through that time, he was named to the Pro Bowl 9 times, won the 1990 MVP Award, the 1990 Offensive Players of the Year Award, the 1989 Walter Payton Man of the Year Award, and was inducted to the Hall of Fame in 2006. He finished his career completing 58.4% of his passes for 49,325 yards, 291 touchdowns, and 233 interceptions while picking up an additional 1,736 yards and 22 touchdowns on the ground. The next player on the list is a recent retiree who was a bit overlooked through the golden age at the quarterback position. 3. Number 2, Matt Ryan. While Matt Ryan was far from being the best quarterback of his generation, he still was an immense talent that had the misfortune of playing in an era with players like Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and Aaron Rodgers. He joined the league as the 3rd overall pick of the 2008 NFL Draft, selected by the Atlanta Falcons. Along with the Falcons, Ryan also played for the Indianapolis Colts throughout his 15 years in the NFL. In that time, he was named to the Pro Bowl 4 times, the All-Pro Team once, won the 2016 MVP Award, the 2016 Offensive Player of the Year Award, the 2008 Offensive Rookie of the Year Award, and the 2008 Overall Rookie of the Year Award. At the time of his retirement, Ryan had totaled 62,792 yards, 381 touchdowns, and 183 interceptions while completing 65.6% of his passes. Sadly, Ryan fell just short of also having a Super Bowl on his resume as he had led the Falcons to a commanding 28-3 lead over the New England Patriots. However, things would go south quickly for the team and they would lose by a final score of 34-28. The player representing number 3 is arguably one of the most skilled athletes that the world has ever seen. 4. Number 3, Jim Thorp. Despite playing well before likely anyone watching this video was alive, Jim Thorp's greatness has stood the test of time and he was a clear choice to represent number 3. He spent 9 years in the league, playing for the Oorang Indians, New York Giants, and Canton Bulldogs, where he donned the number 3. In that time, he was named to the All-Pro Team once, the Hall of Fame All-1920s team, and was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1963. Thorp spent time playing the tailback, edge, and fullback position. Along with this, he also was an Olympian who participated in the pentathlon and decathlon in the 1912 Olympic Games. Representing number 4 is another Hall of Fame caliber quarterback. 5. Number 4, Brett Favre. Brett Favre was a notorious gunslinger who did not see a pass that he did not like. While this did lead to him having some turnover issues throughout his career, he still played an extremely successful and entertaining style of football. He joined the league as the 33rd overall pick in the 1991 NFL Draft. Through his 2 decades in the league, he spent time playing for the Atlanta Falcons, Green Bay Packers, New York Jets, and Minnesota Vikings. In that time, he was named to the Pro Bowl 11 times, the All-Pro Team 3 times, won 1 Super Bowl title, 3 MVP awards, 2 Offensive Player of the Year awards, was named to the Hall of Fame All-1990s team, and was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2016. He ended his very successful career with 71,838 yards, 508 touchdowns, and 336 interceptions while completing 62% of his passes. What if I told you the next player on the list spent time playing 2 key positions on offense?
6. Number 5. Paul Hornung.
Paul Hornung is one of the few players in the history of football that can claim that he was a starting quarterback, halfback, and fullback. He joined the league as the first overall pick of the 1957 NFL Draft, selected by the Green Bay Packers, where he would spend the entirety of his career. In his 10 years with the team, he was named to the Pro Bowl 2 times, the All-Pro Team 2 times, won 1 Super Bowl title, 4 NFL championships, 1 MVP award, and was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1986. Through his career, Hornung threw for 383 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions while completing 43.6% of his passes. Along with this, he also picked up 3,711 yards and 50 touchdowns on the ground and 130 receptions for 1,480 yards and 12 touchdowns as a receiver. Hornung was a jack of all trades and an easy choice to represent the number 5. Up next is another player that many fans may not be the most familiar with.
7. Number 6. Benny Fredman.
Benny Fredman is an Ironman who played both sides of the ball. On offense, he was a tailback, and on the defensive side of the ball, he was a defensive back. He joined the league in 1927 for the Cleveland Bulldogs, where he donned the number 6. Along with the Bulldogs, Fredman also played for the Detroit Wolverines, New York Giants, and Brooklyn Dodgers. Along with playing tailback and defensive back, Fredman also had 3 seasons in which he attempted more than 10 passes. Throughout his 8-year career, he was named to the All-Pro Team 4 times and was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2005. He retired with 929 yards, 66 touchdowns, and 19 interceptions while completing 41.9% of his passes. As a tailback, he ran for 458 yards and 18 touchdowns on 152 carries and picked up an additional 67 yards on 5 receptions. As if this was not enough, he even made 2 field goals in his career, the longest being 42 yards. There was nothing on a football field that Fredman could not do, and it is likely we will never see a player like him again. Up next is a quarterback that dominated the 1980s and 90s.
8. Number 7. John Elway.
John Elway is arguably the greatest player in Denver Bronco history and also the best player to ever wear the number 7. He joined the league as the first overall pick in the 1983 NFL Draft, selected by the Broncos, where he spent the entirety of his 16 years in the league. In that time, he was named to the Pro Bowl 9 times, won 2 Super Bowl titles, 1 Super Bowl MVP award, 1 MVP award, 2 Offensive Player of the Year awards, the 1992 Walter Payton Man of the Year award, was named to the Hall of Fame All-1990s team, and was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2004. He retired with 51,475 yards, 300 touchdowns, and 226 interceptions while completing 56.9% of his passes. Representing number 8 is another Hall of Fame caliber quarterback.
9. Number 8. Steve Young.
Steve Young was tasked with following up Joe Montana as the starting quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers. While many players would be easily lost in Montana's shadow, this would not be the case for Young, and he would go on to have a dominant run with the team. He joined the league as the first overall pick of the 1984 NFL Supplemental Draft, selected by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Along with the Buccaneers, he also played for the 49ers. In his 15 years in the league, Young was named to the Pro Bowl 7 times, the All-Pro Team 3 times, won 3 Super Bowl titles, 1 Super Bowl MVP award, 2 MVP awards, 2 Offensive Player of the Year awards, and was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2005. He retired with 33,124 yards, 232 touchdowns, and 107 interceptions while completing 64.3% of his passes. The final player in part 1 of this series is another quarterback with a strong case of being the best player in franchise history.
10. Number 9. Drew Brees.
Drew Brees was one of the top quarterbacks of his generation and arguably the best player to ever don a New Orleans Saints jersey. League as the 32nd overall pick of the 2001 NFL Draft, selected by the San Diego Chargers. Along with the Chargers, Brees also played for the New Orleans Saints, where he would see his career take off. Through his 20 years in the league, he was named to the Pro Bowl 13 times, the All-Pro team once, one Super Bowl title, one Super Bowl MVP award, the 2004 Comeback Player of the Year award, 2 Offensive Player of the Year awards, and the 2006 Walter Payton Man of the Year award. He retired with 80,358 yards, 571 touchdowns, and 243 interceptions while completing 67.7% of his passes.